Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today we arrive back at Tsukuba. I always say that wrong, this is the second take. However, we are here back at the Human Comedy again. After my little effort to have a go at a two-stopper, I've actually been told that's not the appropriate way to do this, to gain 58 laps. And one of our dedicated, is that the best way to say it? One of our faster viewers has sent me his setup and kind regards and said have a go at it this way. So what I aim to do today is take you through the setup, and then I'm going to give you the race. I'm tempted to give you all of the setup straight away, but I actually feel it's probably best if we do this and approach this in such a way where we go through the race and discuss it together. There's quite a bit to go into, so let's just bear with us. So the car is as normal. It is the Mazda Roadster touring car. It is set up for racing. We're going to use the medium tyres, and as you can see up there, 599.88 against a target of 600. Now I've modified it, the setup I was sent, slightly because there's a couple of freebies in there. So this car is set up with racing medium tyres, as we said. It's got 230 brake horsepower, fully customizable suspension. This is changed from the default. This is modified, not highly, but it is enough. So body height has been changed, 88/90, and I'm always going to read them front to rear. You can freeze frame this as you see fit, but anti-roll bar 7.4, damping ratio 35/35, damping ratio expansion 45/45, natural frequency 3.05 and 3.00, negative camber angle 3.0, 3.0, toe angle 0.0 and 0.08. Diff fully customizable, modified again 5/25/25. On the downforce we have the maximum on the rear. This is a high level rear wing to 350. The ECU fully customizable, adjusted down to 92. Ballast at 7, ballast positioned 50 all the way to the rear, putting that over the rear tyres. A power restrictor, you've got everything of the 92 at 100. The transmission is set to a fully customizable manual, set to 260 with manual adjusted gears. First thing you need to do, folks, is change that final drive for the 4.067, and then you can tune these down to the mileage and the gear ratio. So in first it's 2.133, giving you a target of 120. Second is 1.713, giving you a target of 150. Third is 1.423, giving you a target speed of 180. Fourth is 1.220 to 210. And fifth is 1.064 to 265. Now you'll notice these gears are really quite close, and that's because as we get on through the race, these gear ratios will help prevent the wheel spin and help the car and prevent the car from sliding. It will actually aid with traction. There's no nitrous, no turbocharger. All we have is a racing air cleaner, sports brakes, and this is where I've modified it from the original setup I was sent. We've got racing pads. The suggested setup is actually for normals, but I've gone for racing. That might change two things. It might increase tyre wear because you're going to be braking harder, but it also means I can brake later, which is probably not good because in the wet you're probably going to lock up, so I'll just have to manage that myself. Brake balance controller, it does suggest you don't need one, so it hasn't been set, but I've actually set mine to all the 5 rear to take the weight off the front tyres. Again, in the wet conditions it might cause you to lock up on the rear and spin a little bit, but again I'll manage that braking. I hope to go faster in the dry. We then have a racing clutch flywheel, normal prop shaft, we've got stroke up, engine balance tuning, racing crankshaft, and increased body rigidity installed. Now I'm aware of the changes I made, and we'll understand that as we go through the race, but it would have been 598.23, we're now at 599.88. Settings for the race, we can't use softs, we can change to hards if we want to, wets and mediums. Settings for the controller, we're using controller sensitivity on 5, that would normally be 0, but we're just testing that out to see if it actually does affect things. Force feedback max torque 5 and force feedback sensitivity 6. We are on a G29 racing wheel with G25 customized pedals. They're removed from the box, turned upside down, and I've got a different spring in the brake pedal and a little block in the bottom of there to limit brake travel. It doesn't allow me to go beyond the 100. I've just pegged it back to where the 100 is 100. And we are also, if we go into options, just confirm that I am racing on difficulty hard. Okay? You can race on whatever you like. I'm kind of experimenting and testing out what's easy and what hard actually mean to see if they've actually changed from the past. I can tell you I've just done a test on this for 25 laps, and I've had Tsukuba out front doing 57 fours while racing on easy, and we're just going to see how this goes on hard. I'm hoping he's not going to be that quite so quick. So let's just talk where we are about in the ranking boards and what we're trying to achieve. So this setup comes from a gentleman called Redmond1484. I can only imagine of my friends list that this is this chap here. And it is Redmond1484. Lovely chap, thank you very much. Really appreciate what you've sent to me. Normal friends list, look. At the top, normal guys. There I am on 56. Not achieved 57. But I have in the past. My record is 57 laps. We're going for the big 58 today. And as we go down the list, look. There's lots of people we know. Lots of people actually doing this. A couple of people that haven't achieved it yet. But hey, what do they want? They can do so when they've watched it. It's up to them how they play the game. And in the top 10 stars, most people 57, 58. So this is where I'm trying to be. I'd love to be in there in 58 laps. That'll get me into 5th place. But if I can get any further, it'd be great. If I can get 57, happy days. But if we can join Red at the top there and really pay homage to the setup he sent, that'd be fantastic. Strategy. It's 5 stints, so 4 pit stops. I'm going to go through them as we go through the race, but let me read them out just to pacify those that say, come on, let us have it. So we're going to attempt to go fuel map 1 to the end of lap 13 with no tyre change. Pitting at the end of 13, we're going to go fuel map 1 short shifting up to lap 27, where we're going to pit to change to inters. On stint 3, we're going to fuel map 3 all the way through to lap 40. That's just 13 laps, no major drama. But then without pitting, we're going to go fuel map 6 to lap 46. So that ultimately means we're going to go 19 laps on a single tank. We're going to pit the end of lap 46 and change back to mediums. So starting lap 47 for stint 5, we're going to go fuel map 1 all the way to the end for 14 laps. Now I know what we're going to have to be very careful there is about straying off that dry line. That's very early to go to mediums, and it could be treacherous coming out the pit lane getting into turn 1. If we're able to and we've got a bit of fuel, we could probably go another lap, but it would be slower. So we're targeting 58 laps. So if we're ready to go, folks, we're going to give this a whirl. I need to just take you through assists, because I'm going to play this safe, and if I get 57 it's a great point, and then I'm going to start to knock the assists off. So there could be a couple of videos. Manual transmission, traction control 1, default ABS, and I'm going to go for the active stability management and the counter steer assistance on strong, purely to counteract the rain. So if we're ready, eyes down, full house, we're going to go for it. Fuel map 1. Aiming for 58 fives. We've got the brake balance set to the rear, and you'll see with these gears we're normally into these corners in second, but because of the way the gears are arranged, and we can hammer these for the first 13 laps, we are going to be going into these corners in first gear. You might be able to just brake a little bit earlier and just get around the corners like we did there a little bit quicker by being slower in. You need to try and understand the wear to the front left. The front left is going to get hit quite hard. That's why we've chosen to put the brake balance to the rear, which goes against what we've been told. And total respect to Red, who's supplied this information. I just know my driving style and understand how I'm going to heavily hit that front left. 59.7, so 1.2 seconds outside the target time. But we're full of fuel, so let's see where we go. We're fastest lap of the race. We're 18 seconds from the front, 18.6. Mr. Cat, ooh, we slid there as we hit the curb. We're still purpley. We overshot there a little bit. Got a little bit of slide. Mr. Wilk. We're allowed to drive this as hard as we can. We're going for 13 laps on the first stint. We still have the fastest lap of the race. Nobody's hammering it yet. It's a clear, bright morning, as always here. That's a 59.1, almost a 59.2, but we're 0.7 away from the target. We've overshot turn 1, so let's see how we can catch that back up. We need to get to below 58.5. At 58.5 will be tremendous. Mr. Solis, I think you just prevented... Oh no, we went purple again. 58.946. So just half a second away from the target. Front left is just starting to show wear. We're 11.7 seconds from the front at this point. Second gear through there. We'll go around the outside here. Just keep the hammer down. We overran that corner there, but not too bad. I know from my driving style that I will arrive late into corners. I do very much overdrive the braking zone, and I also arrive very shallow. I don't have a wide entry, as some of you have. 58.8, so we're really targeting that 58.5. Nobody else has tried a faster lap yet. We are racing on hard, so it should be easier than easy. Up to number 7th place. So in front of us, Miazano, Gallo and Lopez. We're going faster as the fuel load goes down. We should be just above half a tank as we take a tap on the back of Gallo just to let him know we're there. And we take up some front wing damage, which will affect our downforce. But the downforce is pegged to 70 because it's non-adjustable. So whether that gives us more or less, we don't know. Looks like I might have to take Mr. Lopez round the outside, round the outside. Let's just see how second gear goes. Probably could have followed him closer. He dives late into the corner there. So we see ourselves in 5th place. 7 seconds from the leaders on lap 6. It's alright, we're following a car that's got roughly the same speed as us. Using the draft, and he blocks us on the apex. Overly slows down when we were purple, but hey, let's not worry. On the brakes all the way down to the bottom. Front tyres actually looking pretty good for where we are. The rears aren't looking too bad. wide through turn 1, but we're up to 4th. Mr. Cookerman, Frager and his Al lead us out just 5.25 seconds ahead. They're the guys in front of us now. Felt slow through that corner, but we're purple. Everybody likes a bit of purple. So knowing we're going to pit on lap 13, we're 6 laps away. This is where I'm going to draw your attention to the fuel. That's the end of 6 laps. When that runs out, you're out of fuel. 5.9, we'd be out of fuel. So we've got a tiny little bit of fuel saving to do. So if we can just smidge a little short shift. There's a 58.158. That's the fastest lap of the race, and that's the first time we've been lower than the old target of 58.5. So if we can put some low value lap times in, that would be tremendous. But we can see, I believe, the 3 boys up front, well 2 and 3 are definitely in front of us. We should be making light work of these bad boys. We've got the overrun. So just in front of us there should be the leader, one of those 2. That's Mr. Dalton, who's just been lapped for the first time, pushing away out front. Blue flags are going to go, blue flags. The last lap was a 58.5, which is where we need to be. It's took us 9 laps to get there. Mr. Romeo. Didn't get that into 4th gear then. We should think about that if we're short shifting. So Mr. Cookerman, he's out front. He's now leading us out. We are probably just on for the fuel, so we're doing all right. Mr. Rubelar about to get lapped. We've come in early. There we go. Mr. Cookerman's now on our outside. He's going to try and run us. It's not going to happen. 58.7 on the last lap. Knowing and understanding what we're going to do here is quite critical, because 3 more laps to go. We are going to be pitting for tyres, and we need to come into the pit lane hard and fast. As Mr. Portilla dispatched, we're 1.7 seconds ahead. .5's target lap times. Really don't know how close to that we exactly have to be. The notes just say target 58s. Okay, so that .1 is back there again. Back on the purple. Very keen to understand. It's feeling really grey and overcast. I want to switch the radar screen to see where the rain is, but we know the rain doesn't really affect us until way after the first pit stop, and I think we're going to pit out a sequence. We're just 3 seconds ahead. We're going to have the fuel when we get to the pit stop, so we've done all we need to do at this point for fuel saving, making sure we get there. Flat out laps. 58.2 outside the fastest lap, but inside the target time. Now I'm hoping this session today appeases my week, where I've had a really dire week on hitting targets, and being, I'm going to say, spoon-fed a setup and a race strategy is actually going to really change things, because this isn't my normal way of doing things. There's only a couple of races in the past where I've shown other people custom setups, and I can assure you Mr. Redman has 100% confirmed he has no mind at all with sharing the setup and me sharing it, so he's quite comfortable with that. I don't know the origin of the setup. We're now on the last lap. We're pitting this lap. That was a 58.4, so the last 3 laps have all been solids in the 58.5s underneath, so we're eating back time. We're pitting, we're not changing tyres. We're going to keep this set of tyres, and that front left is looking dead ropey. But we're going to see how we go. Going to go around the outside. And we're going into the pits this time. We're not taking tyres. We're just refueling and we're going out. But then we're going to start to short shift. There we go. We're not changing tyres and we're filling up. Time for a slurpage. So we're short shifting and pitting at the end of lap 27. Keeping it on fuel map 1. Taking all the fuel. Well, as we were in the lead, we're now dropping down the list, down to 6th place at this time. There we go. So we're short shifting. We're going to drive a much more sedate sort of race, but we're trying to still hit those 58.5s, but we're trying to get to what looks like 14 laps. So we're just short shifting to get an extra lap of fuel. The gear ratios are really quite comfortable to do this with. We're starting to overtake people now as the guys start to go in the pits for their first pit stops. Hopefully that's back on. So Mr. Lopez went to the pit there. That puts us up to 4th place with some 16 seconds off the front. The guys in front of us are pitting from the lower part of the grid. But they are, the people I'm racing against are significantly further ahead. We're almost on schedule for the fuel strategy. That's Mr. Cookerbun gone in on 0 fuel. Mr. Hizal just on the 1. Fraga continues. That's going to put us up to 2nd place. Some 8 seconds behind Fraga. That front left is half cooked, and we've got to go a whole session on that tyre. So this is the tremendous difficulty I'm going to face, and I think it's just starting to rain, but I'm watching the fuel map, so I need us to get, I think we're on target for the fuel. Just 10 more laps to do. When we get to the end of here, we've just got the 10 laps to do, so we can really start to really push again. We've saved the fuel, we've run slower laps, but we've got the fuel. Fraga's gone in. He's only 7 seconds ahead of us at this point. There we go, that's us in the lead. Lapping up to 12th place. Got the fuel. Just a bit concerned I might be running a bit slow, but we are heavy on fuel, so let's not over dramatise that. My headphone cable just beeping at me. We went round the outside of what looked like Mr. Wilk. My headphone cable is not having fun, so it might be the fact that we need to just pull that cable out, but we'll find out. It'll tell us. Yep, we've done the short shifting that we need to. We can now plough on. I say we've got to plough on. I've got to continue to lap 46, haven't I? So I probably haven't got this quite right. I need to continue with the fuel saving because I've got another... No, I haven't. I'm pitting. I'm getting confused with the strategies, and this is why ultimately this is a mind game. I'm going to pit on lap 27. That's what I'm doing next. But that front left tyre is burning away. We still hold the fastest lap at 58.158. Come up against Mr. Solis again. We're going to overtake him for the second time. We're mid-59ing at the moment, which isn't tremendous. 22 seconds in the lead though after the first round of pit stops. Everybody's pitted now. Just managed to cut back and go down the inside. Five more laps to go. I just think we have the right amount of fuel. We've done that appropriately. Not dipped into the 58.5s yet, but we've got to get there. Mr. Rubbelaar about to be lapped, I think for the second time. We always seem to arrive at these bad boys on the apex, don't we? So when we go into the pits this time, we're going to change to inters and refuel. .58.9, that's the fastest lap of this stint. Now my previous best here is 57 laps. It'd be nice to equal that today. Start to feel it's raining some more. Let's there's the rev of the radar, there it is. We're into the heavy stuff. Now I think we'll be able to go just a little bit further. Two more laps to do, lap 26 and lap 27, for which we're going to change to the inters. I just hope we can get there. We should have been faster. We should be fast enough, although we're half a second down on every lap at this point, because the key thing with this strategy is to get in before these tyres can't do it. So we're looking to the stint meter on the left hand side. Mr. G Soto there taking the middle line, just giving us room on the outside, which is great for the entry. I probably fuel saved just that little bit too much. That front left tyre is looking good, but the rain is going to start to come now. We've got this and one more lap, so we've got the fuel. But we need to get round just before that rain absolutely smashes down. We don't want to spin this car out, go facing the wrong way like we normally do at this corner. That's the one where I normally blow it. Putting in 59.2s. And here it is, it's coming down now. See it bouncing. We've got one more lap to go. We're going to come in, we're going to go in, take the inters and fill all the way up. Then we're going to go fuel map 3 as we come out. So one more lap. Look at that, the water's coming up. You can see it on that tyre gauge, on that track gauge, the water gauge on the left hand side. straight below me down there. We couldn't see what that person went for when they went to the pits. But we're right, we're on lap 27, so end of lap 27 we're pitting. It's this lap. Just got to try and just negotiate away there. These are the preferred tyre up to this point, and as soon as it crosses that line, the preferred tyre is the Inter. So we could have gone a bit faster to this point just to make it happen. Here we go, we're going in. We had 1 lap of fuel spare. Mr. Miyazaно's gone in. We're 29.3 seconds in the lead. I think we've done really well to get there. So we're changing to the Inters. And we're going to run fuel map 3 all the way through to lap 40. It doesn't say anything about short shift or anything, so fuel map 3 to lap 40, all the fuel, and then we've got to go from lap 40 to 46 on fuel map 6. So my assumption is that is we're through the heavy patch. Here we go. There's fuel map 3. We've got to manage the tyres in this wet, so drive as we go. Everybody's pitted now, and this is where the lap times are critical. We've got to try and run as quick as we can without stacking it. Got to run these lap times as close to 58s as possible, even in the wet. It says we've got 13.2 laps of fuel, but we've got to do 6 more than that. We've got to do 19 laps. I'm assuming I'm just going to keep fuel saving. I know I'm on fuel map 3, but my laps aren't going up. We're still first by 31 seconds. So with the other people pitting as well, that's kept our lead where it needs to be. So the back end of the pack here. We're lapping up to 5th place now. Fraga, who was originally leading before we pitted the last time out. I was a bit tight there. I thought we were going to slide through a puddle. Weaving the way through. Up to 32.3 seconds in the lead. We need to really short shift and save as much fuel as we can to try and get us through to lap 46. At the moment we're only going to 41, so turning laps of 103 on these mediums, which isn't brilliant. front left is showing a bit of wear. So we're only going to pit one more time. Whilst I suggested we would have 5 stints and 4 pit stops, that's not strictly true. It's 3 pit stops. Mr. Lopez has gone to the pits. He's going to take off his inters by the looks of it. We're just speeding up these lap times. We're still building up the lead. We've dipped into the 102s. We need to see if we can just potentially go that bit faster. There's Mr. Gallo, not going to tip his back door this time. We still need to find 4 laps of fuel, it looks like. Mr. Miazano gone to the pits, coming off his inters. Another 102, progressively faster. Mr. Cookabun's chosen to go in, so this is effectively going to open up our lead that bit further. Mr. Hazal's gone in. Are we at a point where we're going to be lapping these boys? This could be the critical bit, this stint, where we don't open up the lead that we need. Mr. Cookabun's taken his fuel, there he is. So he's gone back to, I would suggest, his mediums. He's going to be looking to stretch it out, but we are almost at the point of lapping him with just over 35 minutes of the race gone. 6 laps until it really starts to hammer down. But we really got a short shift now because I'm 3 laps fuel. I really can't afford to do anything but shave fuel. He's going to try and come back past us, which he's going to try and bully his way. He did bump and grind. We'll just give him the favour back, why not? Mr. Soto, we've seen a couple of times today. Do like the colour of his car, reminds me very much of my Mini colour. Starting to rain a bit. We are shockingly short of fuel. It might be that as we get down to fuel map 6, it will extend that range somewhat, and we're just short shifting unnecessarily here. But I think it's going to be important that we just try and play that game effectively. We've got the number 2 car behind us, a lap down. We're not looking at the rain radar, we're just going to play the laps game. We know what the rain does. That front left tyre is kind of okay. He's looking to come past us again. There he is. But he's on medium, so he's gonna have to pit for tyres again. He was lulling us into a false sense of braking security there. He's now seriously struggling with grip. We shouldn't be. But what I don't want to do is get into a race with him. Here comes the rain. The rain is now going to come back too. They're going to have to pit. They're not even on race wet tyres, so they're on their slicks. We've got 22 minutes remaining. People are going into the pits accordingly. There goes Tsukuba off his softs. And we're doing okay. We've got 2 more laps to go on the fuel map 3. Oh, they are struggling if they've not pitted. Coming through a whole tirade of them. We're going to have to move and mix. We don't want to be on the right side of them. They're all going to the pits. Happy days, that helps us. We're saying actually 6 laps remaining on the fuel now. We've actually come round and got comfy on it, look. So lap 39, we've got this one more lap to do, and then we drop into fuel map 6. Then on lap 46 we're coming to the pits to switch to inters. Now we're going to switch back to mediums, which are inters on the soft, medium, hards, aren't they? They're the middle tyre, the intermediate tyre, but these are intermediate wets. That's what we're talking about. And here comes the heavy stuff. So as we get round this corner, we're going to switch to fuel map 6, and we're going to run to the end of lap 46. Kind of shows we're going to be okay with fuel. 5.3 laps remaining. The last 2 laps are in the 105s. Now this gearbox and the way the gears are set should allow for us to make our way through this treacherous stuff without much in the way of... Oh, feel it, oh my lord. I've just got to keep going though. First gear. Let's hope that front left tyre isn't too nailed. There we go, there's the control. The rain has got to its peak at this point. Look, it's right up there. Lifting the throttle allows the car to turn, but we're on the slow laps now. Get this thing round the corner. Come on, lift the throttle. She'll turn in. Sliding through the apex, and this is where I was talking about having the braking power from those uprated brake pads. They might be what's causing the sliding, because you're getting too much grip. Having to control the power there, feather the throttle. Right, we're into the real grim stuff now, where the rain is going to keep coming. You can see the tyre lines. Significantly quicker than the other cars on the circuit. They will have pitted for their ultra wets. We're on the inters, but geared to be able to manage the wet. Up to lapping Mr. Exposito for the second time. Traction control there, dealing with the grip in the wet conditions. The front end just taking its time to come round. We don't want the back end to change ends though, do we? We've got 3.8 laps to go and we need 4 more. So the fuel is coming back to us, even though it was looking ropey. So the intermediate drivers going in for full wets. Everybody's going in. We're just going to continue on the intermediates. This is where it's going to be tricky. Just going to have to just manage it. The heavy water, look, you can see it's gone into the third sector. 16 minutes remaining on the clock. We're probably a lap down because we are running 110s, 112s, and I believe we should be probably faster at this point. We've been short shifting to manage the fuel. We're still not there yet to make sure we get all the way to that lap. I approached that far too sharply, didn't I? They still want to race us. Oh my lord. There was that uncontrolled AI sort of, I'm going to sideswipe you. That was Miyazano in third place, so we're just lapping him now for the second time. He was not happy about that. He's going in for the wets. We've got 3 laps. We've got 2 laps to do, so we're good on fuel. Just. Now the heavy stuff seems to have departed now. Now we've got to pray for a drying line over the next 2 laps, so we can get back on the inters, and then this is the critical part of the race for the next 14 laps. Well, it's 14 minutes up there, but there's no way in the world it's going to be 12 laps, because by the time we've got round and pitted, whatever's left on the cards is what we've got to do. Still trying to rain. We're still managing the car. I think we're going to be alright. I think we're going to get to do what we need to do, but it's then just whether we're going to get to 57 or 58. Just dive up the inside, make the gap for yourself. And then we've got the treacherous bit of running the inters to the end. Sorry, the mediums to the end. We've made it for fuel. We've definitely made it for fuel. We've done well. We've also done well on these tyres. I just don't think we've been quick enough, but we'll see where we get to. We've got one more lap to do on these tyres, and at this, I'm not ready yet to do the fuel map back to 3. That was a bit of nasty, nudgy, bumpy there, wasn't it? So this is the last lap. We're going in on lap 46. And I don't see the dry line that we need. I don't see it yet. They're coming in off their wets. I think we might need to... It's still too wets for the for dries. To go on to mediums, it's too wet. I need a much more drying track before I can go on to intermediates. It's far too wet before I can go on to mediums. I'm going to do one more lap. I've got the fuel. I've just got to hope it dries out some more. These inters are starting to grip now. They're coming out on inters, I bet. But I haven't got any more fuel, so at the end of this lap I've got to go in. I've got no choice. But it's going to be tremendously treacherous. And this is the risky part of the race, going on to the intermediates and slamming it to home. Because those mediums have really got to be going. We're going to get 10 laps, and we really have to be hitting hard. But we only have to roll the tyres across that line. Oh, we hit the wall, mediums, and we're fueling all the way. See, we hit the wall on the way. Oh my lord. Looking at the time we've got, if I don't spin, and this is the critical bit, folks, fuel map 1 to finish. I don't see how this... Right, there's 10. We're going to do 10 more laps. We're on lap 48. This is possible. This is possible. Take the fuel to 12 laps, but I think I've took too much. The drying line is there, look. Just going to leave it on fuel map 6, just a little bit. But we're going to just stay off the curb, stay off the wet bit for now. See how we go, and then we're going to fuel map 1 it once that dry line is fully there. Excuse me being cautious. If this is the first time I've run it, so next time we might do it a little bit more braver. There it is. Fuel map 1. We've got all the help aids on, so all we've got to do is 9 laps. We've got to see where it's turned to 9 minutes now. We've got to do 9 laps, all of 58s, just to be able to get 8:49 across the line, Every lap has got to be an 85, a 58.5. I don't think we're going to do it. I did run that extra lap because we had the fuel. Maybe I short shifted too much. Maybe I'm just banking on the fact that I will make mistakes. I probably stayed in the pits 2 laps of fuel too long. I don't have the room to be able to run out wide on these guys, and I also can't run out wide to the left there. We're too slow. We're doing 101s. That's lap 50 with 7 minutes to go. Whatever happens, this is a great setup. The car is really drivable. Top marks to red. If this is your own work, my friend, well done. If it's somebody else's setup, well stolen. We're gonna drive the proverbial nuts off this bad boy. The wheel nuts are gonna come flying off. See if we can take the fastest lap at this point of the race. That'd be tremendous. We just have to watch out for the exit of the final corner. The exit of the final corner is where it can all go wrong. That left hand side there is extremely wet. Back in the 1.0s, we're quicker, but we're not quite there yet. I think delaying that extra lap was worth it. Or was it? Was the track actually dry enough whilst we were in the pits? Probably going to need to have another go at this and run it as per the rules. The guidelines for the strategy, 5 minute 48 to go. We're on lap 52. When can we find 12 seconds from? I don't think we can. We just managed to gather the car in there just perfectly. As Miyazano goes to the pits to come off his inters, he left it so long. Really drivable. Look at it dive into that corner late. And I know I've put the uprated brakes on, 8.7 laps of fuel, we're good. We're just gonna be short by that length of the final corner. Come on, Mr. Wilk, I want to go up. $59.8. Probably just left it that little bit too long. It's pretty decent though, pretty decent. We're doing all right. Not going to beat myself up. We've improved. We've got back to 57. If I don't smash it, we'll be back on 57, which is my PB. To do a 58 though, we'll just have to give this another dig and be brave. 4 minutes. Just don't see how we're gonna make up that time to get round the corner to this final bend. No, we're not putting fast enough times in. Mr. Cookabun comes off his wets. We've got no understanding of how fast we are against the rest of the field. We've just got a dotted line. I'm going to dive that apex. That was a bomb and a half. That's the way, guys. Clear the rain off the track, please. Cookabun's gone to softs. He's just come out of the pit, so we're about to equal my previous best at this version of the game. We're still some 13 seconds shy of being able to put that 48 in. I thought it was all over then. I thought we were going to spin round. We're going on to lap 56 and we're still shy. So it's going to be 57 for us if we can make it these last 2 laps. Don't hit that left hand side of that corner, you nugget. 11 seconds, 12 seconds shy. We've gone too wide, and there it is. That's the end of our attempt. We're going to get the 57 easy, but we're going to have to do it again now. We're going to have to bite down the bullet and just believe that what we're being told is the truth. Oh, that's so frustrating. We just ran wide on that corner. '57. And over the weekend I'm going to have to do this one more time. So a minute to go. That's how much we lost from here to corner. We lost about 8 seconds there with that running off the track. That's that one mistake that kills it off. 57, we've never done 57 before in this version of the game. It'll put us up to a potential healthy high spot in our friends ranking. We'll come up off the front page, I think, up onto the front page. Then we've got to give it another shot to try and get that 58. But you can all be doing it now with this setup and stick to the facts you're told. It's not that I wasn't trusting, it was just it didn't feel right. Oh, we're overtaking the 4th spot guy and the 3rd, and I think that's going to be Mr. Cookabun's already finished. So can we take Miyazano before the line? We don't want to spin out too far. No, he's not going to get lapped again. But there we are in 1st place on 57 laps. That is a significant chunk better than we were. Thank you, Mr. Redman. There we are. We were 2 laps ahead of Mr. Cookabun, 3 laps ahead of Mr. Miyazano. And we lapped the guys at the back by 6 times. We got the 58.158 on lap 7. We didn't get anywhere near it at the end. There she is, healthy beast. Great looking skin. Thank you, JB, as always. And where are we? Where are we on the friends list for 57 laps? Where does it say it? It doesn't say it there at all. We are 4th. We're up 2 back behind Mr. Maguire and Mr. Red. So we've got to go that again. But more importantly, we're not in the top 10. So we've got to go again to try and get that 58. The only way we're going to get on that top 10 list is by getting that 58. And if we get that 58, we're going to be in 5th place. Well, disappointed, yes. Relieved, yes, because we're back in the front on the front page here, up in 4th place. But I want that 58. Big Popper, unlucky mate. You can do this now on this setup. You can get up there on 57. That'll do you right. As we look down the list, no disrespect, Mr. Stig, welcome. Thank you for shouting out this morning. There you are on 55. You can do the same with this. Big thanks to Red at the top there. We'll come and get you. Right, with that, folks, thank you very much. We'll see you on the next one. All the best. Take care. Ta-ra for now. What do we get? Oh, 4-star. Happy days.